Keris is a dagger group stabbing weapon which is one of the typical cultures of the archipelago. Although there are many sources regarding its origin, the majority of history says that the Keris originated from Java. Having a sharp tip, the shape of the Keris is very distinctive and easy to distinguish from sharp weapons in other areas. Keris is not symmetrical in shape because the blade is often winding, and has a bright metallic coating on the blade. The famous Keris is the one that has waves and is curved or jagged. Generally, a Keris has three parts, namely the blade, knife, upstream handle, and sheathed scabbard. Carefully carved, the parts of this Keris have their own artistic meaning. The materials that make up the Keris are also varied, such as precious metals, wood, ivory, to those made of gold. In ancient times, the Keris was used as a weapon in duels or wars, as well as a complementary object for offerings. But now, the Keris has also become one of the accessories in clothing, a symbol of ingenuity, or a collection object that is seen by its aesthetics. The Indonesian Keris has been registered with UNESCO as a non-intangible World Heritage of Human Ingenuity since 2005. Then, how is the origin of the Keris? According to the book Keris in Scientific Perspective published by the Ministry of Culture and Tourism in 2011, the history of the Keris is still considered unclear. Dennis Lombard, world historian, in his book Nusa Java, Cross-Culture, writes that the use of Keris emerged since the end of Majapahit. To quote Tom Perez, every Javanese, rich or poor, must have a dagger at home, as well as a spear and a protector. An expert on Javanese literature and Indonesian culture, Zoetmulder, said that the island of Java is known to have known Keris since the 6th or 7th century. Some of the earliest forms of Keris from that period can be known, but many are still not. Although Javanese ancestors were generally Hindu and Buddhist, evidence that the Keris originated from India or other countries is still uncertain. There is also no evidence of a direct link between traditional weapons and the two religions. Indeed, prototypes of Keris have been found in several archipelago temples, where in temples in India or other countries, a Keris-like form has never existed. In Indonesia, Keris reliefs can be found at Borobudur Temple in the 8th century, Prambanan Temple in the 9th century, or a statue of a Javanese man with a dagger in the bathhouse of Letha Temple in the 15th century. In general, the shape of the design is also somewhat different from the current Keris design. Meanwhile, the shape of the Keris known today at least has appeared since the 10th century. It is estimated that it spread from the island of Java throughout Southeast Asia. Some areas spread Keris such as in Madura, Nusa Tenggara, Sumatra, parts of Sulawesi, to Malaysia, Brunei, southern Thailand, southern Philippines, and others. The Keris in each region has its own uniqueness in appearance, function, technique, and terminology. What is the influence and function of the Keris on society? Since ancient times, Keris have been used as weapons, heirlooms, spiritual objects, and accessories for traditional clothing. Often the Keris is also considered to have magical powers. So until now, many people still believe that the Keris can bring good luck, so it is sometimes used as a talisman. In addition, the Keris is believed to increase courage and self-confidence for its owner. This tool can also prevent disease outbreaks, disasters, and plant pests. Some people also believe that the Keris can get rid of or ward off the disturbance of spirits. Apart from the magical side, there are several other functions of the Keris for the community. First, the Keris in the past was used as a traditional weapon. In the days of the kingdom, every soldier carried a dagger tucked in his waist. As a basic weapon in war, the Keris can be found in the stories of Ken Arok, Amangkurat II, and others. Keris is also often used by heroes such as Imam Bonjol, Hasanuddin, Prince Diponegoro, and so on. Second, as heirlooms inherited from the ancestors. This reason makes the Keris made and stored with great care. Keris is also widely kept in museums or palaces such as Surakarta and Yogyakarta. Furthermore, the Keris is also a symbol, especially for residents of the Java area. These symbols are in the form of paintings, words, badges, and others that contain certain meanings. The symbols of the Keris include expressing the legitimacy of position or power, a symbol of status, identity, and the philosophy of Javanese society. Then the Keris is also a tool for various activities. For example, puppet show equipment, village clean ceremony equipment, traditional clothing equipment, and so on. Finally, the function of the Keris is an object of art. If you pay attention, the Keris with the shell is a harmonious unity made with a high level of imagination. These various functions certainly affect the cultural values and spirituality of people who adhere to certain beliefs. On the other hand, the Keris originating from Java has become a symbol of preserving the culture of the archipelago that must be owned by every individual.